So last night I uploaded a video on here of some people about the croak news, about an 8-minute video. It uploads, doesn't go on my page, and it doesn't go to my album on my phone. Now how does that work? I couldn't tell you, but I can tell you one thing. I'm not about to do that whole damn episode over. So we're going to run through some war updates real quick. Alright, so on last week's episodes, people about the croak news, we talked about multiple things, but mostly how the Russians were looking like they were getting ready for a pretty nice offensive. And we talked about how the Russians put a hit on the boy Zelensky. And since then, Zelensky almost got his ass killed a couple times, but fell through. But not by the Russians, by his own men. Let's get into more updates. They said the Russians' plot to assassinate Zelensky failed, but it wasn't really the Russians, per se. It was his own people. Try to get his ass and bring him to the Russians. Some people about the croak. And we talked about how the French keep saying that they want to send troops in there and help Ukraine because that's the only way that they can win. And the Russians are saying, we already blended a couple y'all up, so keep on sending them. So if you've been watching me for a while, we talked about this dude Zelensky back in the winter, or around the winter. It was discussions about him basically starting a coup, and the morale of the soldiers was going more towards him because he's actually on the front lines with them, or near the front lines, versus Zelensky just, doing a world tour and gathering money, so to speak. So as a buildup of troops gather all across the front line, it looks like they open up a new front in the Kharkiv region, and it looks like they're not playing. But it gets more interesting because, I've saw footage of Russian troops literally just walking across, not under fire, no landmines, no mortar rounds going off near them, no damn grenades, nothing. Just smooth sailing, literally just trotting. So like we just said, Zelensky removes Zelensky and sent him to be the ambassador of Britain. And Zelensky also dismisses the head of state of guard over the assassination attempt. So it looks like his little circle is not so close-knit anymore. Shit's turned into a square. And with that happening, I'm sure it's going to be a lot easier for something to happen. But only time will tell. So while the Ukrainians are dealing with that drama, the Russians are making a move for it. While they go into these settlements, they telling the people that live in these settlements, hey, you might want to get up out of here. We about to come through this bitch, and it's probably not going to look anything like this when we get done. So just a heads up, you can stay if you want, but you're probably going to die. So this is talking about this Kharkiv falling with inside. Russian forces complete the bridgehead already within 3 days of, making this little push. And like I said, I just seen a video of Russians walking across the territory unscathed. So something's going on, and I'm sure we'll figure out what the hell it is pretty soon. The Russians have obviously seemed to switch gears. They're coming through with that Black Air Force energy. They're knocking out Patriot systems, S-300 systems. So obviously they have air superiority. So this isn't going to go too well. So this article right here is saying that Russian forces are refusing to go in on the offensive on Kharkiv. So like I said, they're moving pretty rapidly. The Russians captured the fortress of Volchansk and stepped on the first line of defense. Not go around it. Stepped on that shit. It's over with. The first line already within 3 days. So while all this is going on in Kharkiv, looks like they down there in the Dnieper River in Kherson saying, hey, look, at nighttime we might go ahead and send y'all across this bitch. So just be ready. We're going to give y'all the call. So it's saying that the Russians have captured 4 more settlements in Kharkiv. This is deteriorating pretty quickly. But I did see a video on YouTube from a pro-Ukrainian dude that said that the Russians fell into an ambush around this area, which isn't impossible. I can't find anything outside of, that video that I saw, but, it's not like it's impossible. They are on the offensive. They're going into someone's territory, so an ambush could be set up. And for them just to be walking across the line like that, they could have went into a trap, but I'll keep y'all updated. So Sersky is saying, this Kharkiv situation isn't going too damn well. It's a nice little photograph there. He looked like one of his comrades just asked him, sir, who you talking to? Don't you damn worry about it. You get your ass out on that front line and get blown the hell up while I figure out what the hell we gonna do. So just like that, we just talked about them stepping on the first line of defense. And just like that, they crushed the second line of defense. The Ukrainians are surrendering in mass. The boys definitely look like they done with this shit. Talk about the Russians about to give their men the okay to go, and cross the Dnieper River around the Kherson region. The Ukrainians are pulling men from Kherson to go up and patch the holes in Kharkiv. That's some people about the croak. For this new offensive, the Russians are labeling their tanks and armored vehicles with these symbols. So anybody out there that does symbols and study that type of stuff, please let me know if you find something. 2 strongholds taken like that, 250 Ukrainians wiped out. So NATO is saying that Russia will hit some type of area with a tactical nuke. NATO is now trying to identify what the target will be and what will be hit. It's gonna be y'all. Y'all stop messing with them damn Russians. The Russians are applying heavy pressure. Looks like businesses and everything are getting the hell out the way. They moving to the west. This was literally Russia's plan. Back the hell up off our borders. And it looked like it's working so far. So like I said earlier, the Russians have their Marines on standby on the Dnieper River in Kherson region. And they got the OG General Armageddon running point. So this should be very interesting. Like I always tell y'all, I may not know everything, but one thing I know for sure. Some people about to croak.